Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining in my channel. This is your host Tenzin, and this is the part of the podcast we'll talk about Nepal's adventure and experience in Nepal. So, I would like to welcome all of you and thank you very much for listening. So, we're gonna be talking a little bit about the experience that you can enjoy and feel in Nepal. So I would say, you know, it's the majestic Himalayas, cresting the heights of, the beautiful um, Himalayan kingdom it used to be, and Nepal looms large in travelers. So, why not? It is still like one of the most beautiful country in Southeast Asia, I would say, even in the globe. So it's far more developed for tourist infrastructures and range of attractions. Meaning that travelers can scramble up mountains and wander through the rhododendron forest, seek spiritual solitude, or get lost in the vibrant festivals. So Nepal offers a travel experience that can be challenging, calming, or strenuous, depending on your whim. But whatever you choose to do, Nepal is never anything less than invigorating. So, since we talk about the experience here, due to pandemic, everybody's in tourism is hit badly. So, hopefully next year, you know, like everybody get ball back in the track, and then yeah, I guess mountains are calling you. So we have like rocky mountains, high rocky mountains, and this is a very mighty Nepal Himalayan Everest, but you don't need the lungs of Sherpas to tackle a trek in the Himalayan trails. With a range of trails, every conceivable degree of difficulty and distance, there is an opportunity for just about everyone to just lace up their boots and experience the country as Nepalis do, on foot. So we have number one, Everest Base Camp Trek. Appropriately enough, this trek to the base camp on the highest mountain on earth is challenging trail, yet worth experience, taking you from the lowlands into the mighty Himalayas. It's one of the most visited and most popular tracks in Nepal, and we have short tracks from Pokhara. You don't really need to be a major undertaking. So from Pokhara there are short tracks to Gachok, Chisupani, Gandruk village, and other spots. And we have tea house trekking as well. So whether you are huddled by a cozy lodge or soaking up the afternoon sun on a spectacular terrace, it's the warm, hospitable environment of Nepal's lodges that sets apart trekking in Nepal. So number four, we have Annapurna Sanctuary Trek, a relatively short trek, packs a powerful punch as it takes in a breathtaking mountain amphitheaters of peaks and glaciers. And number five, we have Yalambu Trek, so easily accessible from Kathmandu, taking no more than 8 days. The Yalambu Trek offers a great introduction to trekking in Nepal and is good winter choice. And number six, we have the most beautiful, personally my favorite, Annapurna Circuit. The spellbinding valleys around Manang, Jomsum, it creates the breathtaking backdrop of this ever-changing trek and one of the world's classic walks. And we still have Wet and Wild, so it's more to do in Nepal's rugged mountainscapes and wide open spaces than just trekking. Hardcore adrenaline junkies or anyone seeking an adventure can throw themselves into these fantastic plunging valleys, endless vistas and racing rivers, and the forests of the Tarai. The southern lowlands offers a chance to spot a tiger or one-horned rhinoceros. And number one, we have rafting and kayaking. So there's a lot of water working its way down from Nepal's peak, enough to keep keen rafters and kayakers occupied and breathless with the whitewater exertion. And number two, we have Chitwan National Park. The vast expanse of Chitwan is home to Nepal's signature species, rhinos, tigers, sloth bears, and wild elephants, and it's just a place to do an elephant top safari. And number 3, we have bungee jumping. So there's nothing quite like gritting your teeth and throwing yourself headlong into the Himalayan gorge, but bungee aficionados will find one of the Asia's deepest drops. So it's one of our experience, it's hell of experience, I would say. So we have number 4, canyoning, the ultimate in water sports. Canyoning among mighty boulders, waterfalls and natural water sliders will set your pulse racing. And number 5, we have paragliding, and it offers you an opportunity to soar silently like the majestic griffin over the valleys around Pokhara, and you get to see the bird's eye view from the top of the Pokhara Valley. And number 6, we have mountain biking. Mountain bike is a terrific way of getting off the beaten track and reaching remote and untouched corners of the country under your stem. So it has become, recently it has become quite a popular among the young Nepalese audiences and generations there. Everybody gets into the mountain biking trails, and so many events coming up this year, next year. And talk about age-old customs, arts, and temples, and beautiful darbar squares. So we have number 1, if the high attitude and gentle rhythms of the track don't bring on the contemplative mood, then we have the spiritual life of Nepal surely will offer you something. It boasts the centuries of Buddhist and Hindu histories, and a plethora of temples, stupas, and religious traditions to match your spiritual solitude. So number 1, we have Lumbini, the birthplace of Buddha. Lumbini is one of a pilgrimage site like no other, a place where the faithful come in respectful silence, and it's the birthplace of the Lord Buddha himself. So number 2, we have Kathmandu Darbar Square. So wanderers Kathmandu's labyrinthine old town then take a perch in one of the tiled temples of Darbar Square to watch the traditional city life pass beneath you. It's a beautiful brick town. And number 3, we have like Baudhanath Stupa. So join the throng of pilgrims as they chant, pray, and circle mighty Baudhanath Stupa, and one of the most peaceful, ancient, and one of the world's largest stupas, and the religious center for Nepal's exiled Tibetan community as well. And number 4, we have Bhaktapur. The cobblestone streets of Bhaktapur link a string of temples, courtyards, and monumental squares. The side streets are peppered with shrines, wells, and water tanks, and you get to see the very medieval kind of touch to it. And number 7, we have Patan. In Patan Darbar Square, you can indulge your fascination for temple architectures and then wander aimlessly through those back streets to discover more than 600 stupas and 185 courtyards, or bahals they call it in local language. And we have number 8, Swambhunath. So taking the views of Kathmandu from the hilltop setting of Swambhunath temple, they call it monkey temple by all the travelers, because you will be welcomed by naughty monkeys up there. So it is one of the most very strange experience. There are some monkeys which are very aggressive. There's some monkeys which are very cool. So it depends. So festivals, with nothing better to reveal those cultural richness of Nepal. Throughout the year, people have hundreds and tons of festivals, just and mass dances, chariot races, and tug of war attract those large crowds and enthusiastic participants. So visiting a festival, you will see the Nepalese, they're colorful and energetic best. So number 1, we have Losar. That's like Losar in Tibetan, we call it New Year, Tibetan New Year. Lo as in year, Sar means new. So triggered by the new moon in February or end of beginning of March, it marks the Tibetan New Year and involves 15 days of celebration for Tibetan communities and the Himalayan ranges, who follows Buddhist lunar calendar. And number 2, we have Biscuit Jatra. So the Nepalese celebrate the New Year with the festival of Biscuit Jatra, which features huge crowds dragging tottering chariots through the winding back streets of the Kathmandu Valley. And number 3, we have the major festival called Holi, known as the Festival of Color. And it is the most righteous celebrations on the Nepali calendar. People just love getting splashed by the watercolors and powders, and they just it's a festival for, to celebrate the spring time for the farmers. And we have number 4, the sign. So celebrating the victory of goddess Durga over the forces of evil. The sign is the most important festival across Nepal in the Hindu kingdom. Well, so this is about it today, and I hope you guys all enjoyed a little bit experiences of Nepal. And I have one question for you, for all the friends who love to visit Nepal and who have, visited Nepal before. What do you miss the most about Nepal? What is your experience like in Nepal? You can leave the comment down there. You can post. You can share this podcast with your friends. I would definitely love to hear from you too, and we'll keep, talking more about the adventurous side in a detailed manner in the next part of my podcast. And you guys have been amazing. Thank you very much for listening. I really enjoyed, sharing this small story about Nepal and experiences of Nepal as Nepal destination Nepal. So after this lockdown, hopefully the tourism opens up and Nepal will be back in business. And let's stay positive, let's stay hopeful, and take care. You have fun. Peace out.